Come on, go with me to the book called Revelations once again. As I go to part 2 of this teaching. In the book called Revelations, and I'll read a few more verses today, chapter number 12. Beginning with verse number 9, you find these words there. So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels was cast out with him. Verse number 10, then I heard a voice saying in heaven, now salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ have come. For the accuser of our brethren, who accused them before our God day and night, has been cast down. Verse number 11, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they did not love their lives to the death. Verse number 12, therefore rejoice. Rejoice, O heavens, and you who dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you, having great wrath, because he knows that he has a short time. Particular verse for our text this morning is verse number 10. Then I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ have come. For the accuser of our brethren, who accused them before our God day and night, has been cast down. Let me speak to you briefly from this subject, and I call this part 2. The hidden laws of accusation. The hidden laws of accusation. Most people do not understand what is happening to them when they are being accused. And because they do not realize what is happening, they play into the hands of the accuser. In this message, I want to share some of these hidden laws which govern the hows and whys of accusation. And understanding these laws will help you to fight your enemy, gain the upper hand, and win the battle. The first law I want to give you today is that your relationships will be polluted by accusations. Accusations can be likened to Satan vomiting on a good relationship, wreaking havoc. And these accusations somehow have the effect of dirtying everything. And pure relationships are poisoned by even the slightest accusations. And nothing is ever the same once you have been accused. Everything changes. And you many times can no longer work effectively with many people because of accusations. So understand that accusations will poison good relationships and change them forever. So this message today is an attempt to kill the demons which are vomiting slime on God's servants. It is an attempt to rise up and reject the deception that the slime coming from these demons is truth from God. This message is an attempt to reject the notion that many of the accusations we hear are actually true. It is a rejection of the lies that are peddled about God's anointed through rebellious pastors and church folk. It is a strong stand against the condemnation, the news and rumors which look like truth, but are lies from the pit of hell. It is in defiance of the relentless accusations and condemnations meted out to honorable men and women who have taken up the mantle of service to the Lord. The second law I want you to remember today is you will be accused of the exact opposite of what you really are. Now, it's amazing that Satan's strategy is to accuse you of the opposite of what you really are. Many times, many ministers and people of God labor under the accusations of things that are far from them. Men who are as far from being thieves as the sun is from the earth are accused of stealing. Men and women who have never committed adultery and will not until they die are accused incessantly of being adulterers. And you would have thought that if you accuse someone of something remote, it would have no effect on them. But these accusations do have a powerful effect on the accused. Moses was being accused of being a murderer. But you see, one day Moses was accused of trying to kill the Israelites, even though he was doing the opposite. You know, God had sent him to deliver the Israelites, but the people accused him of trying to kill them all anyway. Come on, look at Exodus chapter 14. I'm going to help you today. Exodus chapter number 14. Look with me to verses 11 and 12. And they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us to carry us forth out of Egypt? Is not this the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptian than that we should die in the wilderness. Come on, look at Exodus chapter number 16, verse number 3. And the children of Israel said unto them, would to God we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full. For you have brought us forth into the wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. Come on, Exodus chapter number 17. Look at verse number 3. And the people thirsted there for water, and the people murmured against Moses and said, wherefore is this that thou hast brought us up out of Egypt, to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst? And then Moses was accused of exalting himself and of being proud. But the Bible tells us that he was the meekest man on the face of the earth. Come on, Numbers chapter number 12. Look with me to verse number 3. Now the man Moses was very meek, above all the men who were upon the face of the earth. Numbers chapter 16. Look with me to verse number 3, and I'm going to read from the NASB version because I want you to get what I'm saying. They assembled together against Moses and Aaron and said to them, you have done far enough, for all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is in their midst. So why do you exalt yourselves above the assembly of the Lord? And then one day Jesus was accused of destroying God's house. They said in Mark chapter 14, verse number 58, we heard him say, I will destroy this temple that is made with hands. And within 3 days, he says, I